The last few days, I designed and made a beautiful apron that I'm so excited to tell you about. Man, I talk with my hands a lot. I don't know if that's good or bad. Hi there, good to see you. Glad you're here today. This week I designed and made an apron. It's so nice. It has a skirt that swishes, makes me feel very feminine, very fun. It has a crossback design, so there's no pressure on your neck. It has a curved neckline, which I think is beautiful, and it also has pockets, and I'm really excited to show you about it. So let's talk about this thing. A lot of the design for this apron happened in my head. I thought about it for a really long time, but the Toto Shop UA crossback apron inspired the curved neckline, and the Purl Soho crossback apron really inspired the pockets and the side panels. Both of these patterns are available online and they're linked in the description. To draft the neckline, I used this McCall's pattern that I already had on hand. This pattern has a really nice curved neckline, so I decided to use its front bodice piece as my starting point. I cut the full piece out, but then added a bunch of length for it to be apron length. As soon as I pinned it up, it was very clear that it was way too wide. I needed it to go to my waist, not my underarm. So since it was too wide, I decided to measure about how wide I thought I wanted it and cut straight down and see how that looked. That looked a little bit too narrow. I liked where it fell on my bust, but then because of the contours of the human body, it had the optical illusion of getting narrower at my waist, which I didn't like the look of. So I simply grabbed two other pieces of fabric and sewed them down, pressed them, and cut some angles so it wasn't just a square tab coming out from the sides of the apron. I really like the way that this looks. It gives the illusion of a straight shape, even though on the side you can definitely see that it's an angled piece. I felt like this was really great and I was ready to attach the sides, but I'm not quite sure how to do that. I really like the Purl Soho side panels with the pockets in them. I like the geometric kind of shape of them and I love the utility of it, but I didn't like how they were just cut square. I really wanted to add some dimension to the skirt so that it had, again, that swish that I was talking about earlier. I really wanted that kind of more feminine. I just wanted that swish. So then I took a while to just think about how to do that. Popped onto the internet and I started looking up circle skirts because they have that flowing look that I was going for. I found a nice circle skirt calculator online and then kind of retrofit that to my project. I got away from myself trying to explain how to make a circle skirt. If that's something you'd love to see, I will make a whole video for it. But for now, let's get back to the apron. So I did some circle skirt magic and started to draft my pattern on a piece of paper. It helps me kind of imagine the pattern that I am creating and play around with the dimensions and the shapes before I start cutting anything out. There's a whole bunch of measuring and thinking and marking and drawing lines and kind of imagining what that will look like on the actual completed garment. The more and more you do these projects, you're able to see better how the flat pattern will look on the 3D body. I think that that's just magic, that you can take these totally flat pieces and then make a beautiful garment that hangs on a body and deals with all of these dimensions and optics. It's just so exciting to me, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So where were we? Once it's drafted on the paper, it's time to cut out some fabric and see if it works. At this point, I got really confused about how to piece the pocket together. So I'm very grateful to Purl Soho again for their step-by-step tutorial. Here's a nice montage of me just racking my brains and following step by step with some pieces of paper to conceptualize how to actually put it together. especially with French seams, I often have to unpick them because I do it wrong the first time. Usually that means I don't do it wrong the second time, but you know, in another week I might do it wrong again. When you're finally clear on how to actually sew the pieces together, you do it. It's gonna take some sewing and some pressing, and boom, you're done. Well, it turns out that editing takes a lot longer than one might think. So the big reveal is coming in part 2, dropping soon. Hit subscribe and you'll get it first. Hope to see you there. Bye. Oh no. And we wait for the camera to stop wiggling. Blar, 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 blar. Thank you, computer. You're the best. I gotta learn to make bras. It's coming up. It's gonna happen.